everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel where I help eczema warriors get rid of inflammation, itch, and the uncomfortable skin. Now, it's been quite a while since I posted a YouTube video, and so I wanted to give you guys a quick update on what's been going on. So back in June, I did a program launch for Clear Your Eczema. For those of you who don't know, I have a signature program called Clear Your Eczema. Clear Your Eczema is basically a 12 to 14 week program where I help people heal their eczema through using diet and supplements as well as lifestyle changes. Now in June, we did a program launch and it was very busy for me, which is why I've been off YouTube since back in January. I was trying to prepare for my program. And this time around, we were able to enroll 12 eczema warriors into the program, and we actually just started group coaching not too long ago. That being said, because I've been so busy with Clear Eczema, I haven't had the chance to film YouTube for you guys, but now I'm back officially, and we're gonna start pumping out videos every 2 weeks, giving you guys very valuable tips for healing your eczema, as well as managing topical steroid withdrawal, TSW. Now in today's video, we're going to talk all about the 10 tips on how you can manage TSW. Now these 10 tips are what I've learned going through TSW and I found to be the most helpful in my journey, and also speaking to a lot of you guys as well who are also dealing with TSW. If you want to learn about the 10 tips on how to manage your TSW, then continue watching this video. So the very first tip on how to manage TSW is to don't over restrict your diet. One of the most common mistakes I see TSW warriors doing is thinking that over restricting their diet and going on extensive elimination diets or low salicylate diets is going to help and heal their TSW. Now, I'm not saying that you should go on a diet that's very unhealthy or eating a lot of processed food, but going on a very over restrictive diet can actually cause more stress on your body. Now, during TSW, you are likely already under a lot of stress from all the symptoms and just your body trying to figure out what's going on, that if you add on more stress on your body by going on a very extensive diet, it's going to be really hard for your body to manage that, and also be very hard for your TSW to heal. So that's why I say if you're going through TSW, there's absolutely no need for you to go on an elimination diet or going on a very restrictive diet. That being said though, if you're later on in your TSW journey and you haven't made changes to your diet and you want to start doing those things to see if your skin will heal, then certainly doing an elimination diet will help, only for the short term. So you never want to do elimination diet for longer than 2 months, I would say, 3 months max. Then after that, you want to start incorporating foods back into your diet. So this is something I commonly do in my program for my TSW warriors who are a little further along their journey, who aren't dealing with the crazy, intense symptoms that most TSW warriors might experience in the early stages. That's when I feel more comfortable and feel more ready to put them on an elimination diet, just to see if there are any underlying food sensitivities that they weren't able to figure out in their early stages of TSW. Now the next tip I have for how to manage TSW is kind of explaining a little further on my very first tip. Now what I'm saying for my very first tip is not to eat unhealthy. Now it's still really important to eat whole foods when you're trying to manage your TSW. You don't want any added inflammation onto your body, especially when you already have a lot of flaring and a lot of symptoms to begin with. So eating a whole foods diet is still really important. Eating lots of fruits and vegetables, lots of protein, because you need protein when your wounds are healing, good healthy fats, and basically just don't over restrict any foods that you don't need to. I see people who are restricting blueberries and fruits and these vegetables, but you need those nutrients for your skin to heal. Now, of course, if you have actual sensitivities to fruits and vegetables and you need to avoid them, then by all means do that. But if you don't have a clear reason of why you're avoiding these foods, then I highly suggest you to follow a wholesome diet and eat foods that you enjoy, but also being careful on some of the processed foods to make sure that you don't have any added inflammation onto your body. The next tip that I have for how to manage your TSW is to don't do things that you feel like everyone else is doing. Now, what I mean by this is one of the most common things that a lot of TSW warriors have seen results with is doing no moisture therapy or NMT. Now the other method that other TSW warriors are doing is moisturizer withdrawal or MW. Now what NMT is basically not allowing any kind of moisture onto your body or into your body. So no showering, restricting your water intake to 1 liter a day, no moisturizer. When you go to bed, try not to have any covers on you. So eliminating any chance of moisture collecting onto your body. That is what no moisture therapy is about. And this therapy was actually created by a Japanese doctor called Dr. Sato, who saw patients in his hospital and did the no moisture therapy for his patients who were going through TSW. Now what I want to say here is that NMT or MW is not for everyone. It is very, very challenging to not put on any moisturizer, especially when your skin is extremely dry during TSW. It takes a lot of willpower, it's really painful, and you have to stay home the entire time because you can't move and it hurts. So really, NMT or MW is really hard to do, and I see TSW warriors who feel like they have to do it for their TSW to heal. And I'm telling you guys right now in this video that you don't need to do things that other people are doing. These methods definitely work. I've seen it with a lot of TSW warriors, and clearly Dr. Sato has helped a lot of people with his method. However, it doesn't mean that it's something that you have to do. If it doesn't sit right with you, if you feel like it's too hard to get through the day without moisturizing or showering, then that's okay, right? There are a lot of people who heal from TSW, including me, without having to do NMT or moisturizer withdrawal. And the next tip that I have for how to manage your TSW is to take dead sea salt baths. Now I talk a lot about dead sea salt because it has been a game changer for me when I was healing my TSW and also eczema as well. Dead sea salts are basically salts from the Dead Sea in Israel, and it has a lot of healing properties. Going through TSW, I use dead sea salt almost every single day in my bathtub, where I would put 1 to 2 cups in my bathtub, soak in it for at least 20 to 30 minutes. I would see my wounds heal, I would see the flares come down, and a lot of the oozing that I had going through TSW actually decreased when I was using dead sea salt. So definitely try it out if you haven't already and see if it helps your skin. And the next tip on how to manage TSW is to use tubular bandages. Tubular bandages are bandages you can get from a medical supply store, and they basically are bandages that you can just put over your arms or even your legs, and it really just to help protect your skin, prevent you from scratching it directly, and prevent you from picking at your flakes. So when I was healing my TSW, I found that tubular bandages really helped me, and it helped me in the sense where I didn't constantly look at my skin and want to pick at it or want to scratch it. I also wore tubular bandages when I went to bed, and that helped me from scratching overnight as well. The one thing you want to be careful with tubular bandages is if you have a lot of ooze and you put a bandage over and the ooze dries, it's going to be really, really painful for you to take off those bandages because the ooze is going to stick to it. So I highly suggest that if you have a lot of ooze, I would use a different gauze underneath it, like a non-stick gauze, to ensure that the actual bandage itself doesn't stick to your skin. Because the last thing you want is to have your wounds open up again because it got stuck onto your bandage, and when you peeled it off, the scab came off with it. And the next tip that I have for how to manage TSW is to get your nails done. Now I know this isn't for everyone, it's mostly for the ladies, but I found that getting gel nails done was absolutely a game changer. Getting your nails done can actually help a lot with TSW because the thickness of the gel prevents you from tearing your skin open that you normally would with your regular nails. Now when I was going through TSW, I made sure my gel nails were quite chunky and thick. It didn't necessarily look nice, but that wasn't the purpose of it. The whole purpose of getting the gel nails done was to have my nails thick so that when I scratch, it didn't break my skin. It helped me a lot with itching in the daytime. When I scratched, it would be more on the surface. It also helped me as well at night to prevent my skin from really tearing up from using my own nails. So if you haven't gotten your nails done before, go ahead and get them done because it can definitely help. Now, of course, if you have TSW on your fingers or cuts and things like that, it might be really painful to get your nails done. But if you don't have TSW on your hands, then it is a very good way to prevent your scratches from being that intense. The next tip that I have for managing your TSW is to rest as much as possible. During TSW, your body is under a lot of stress, like I mentioned. You're likely very tired, not getting sleep at nighttime. A lot of TSW warriors deal with insomnia, which is a very, very common symptom. And that's because your cortisol levels are really all over the place during TSW. So if you can't sleep at nighttime, don't feel bad about it. Just find time during the day to take naps. Find time in the day to really rest your body. If you can, take a lot of breaks. If you are still working through TSW, make sure you ask your manager or ask your boss to be able to take breaks several times in the day, because you really want to rest a lot during TSW. Resting equals healing. If you're not resting, then you're not healing as fast. A lot of you guys also ask me how to even fall asleep, because TSW is so intense that falling asleep is really challenging because of the itching, because of insomnia, because of the stress going through TSW. I have seen that when I meditated and when my clients meditate before bed, they found that really helpful for them to fall asleep. In terms of preventing the itching, that is a little bit more challenging because the itching needs to happen in order for your skin to heal. It is part of the process. Itching is a sign that your nerves are healing and your skin is trying to heal itself. So stopping the itch sometimes is inevitable, but you can meditate and you can do deep breathing if you feel like you want to bring the itch down, because there is also a connection between your brain and the itch cycle. So if you're able to train your brain in telling yourself, I'm not itchy, I'm going to heal, and taking deep breaths during times when you're super itchy before bed, it can definitely help. The next tip that I have for how to manage TSW is something I feel like is extremely important. Given that going through TSW is really mentally, emotionally, and physically challenging, it's very difficult to handle it all on your own. So my tip today for how to manage TSW is to get support. Whether that's through your family, through your friend, counselor, a dietitian, a naturopathic doctor, acupuncturist, whoever will be able to help you with your journey, go find help. Dealing with TSW alone is very isolating, and that's why getting support to help you with going through TSW is going to make a world of a difference. Now, there are also support groups on Facebook where you can ask to join. Now, these Facebook groups are created specifically for people who are going through TSW, and you can get a lot of support and meet other people who are going through the condition so you don't feel alone. The only thing I want to say about these support groups is sometimes it can be very overwhelming. The amount of tips people give, the amount of information, a lot of things that go on inside a Facebook group, and it can actually be more stressful. So if you're in the Facebook group right now and you feel very overwhelmed with what's going on, everything that everyone is saying, the conflicting advice that people are giving, then maybe you need to take a step back and stay away from social media just to give your body a rest and give your mindset a rest from the amount of things that are happening when you're going through TSW. To me, I found that having one-on-one support with a practitioner, whether that's a dietitian or a Chinese medicine doctor, and having group support really helped me with my mental health. I was able to talk personally with my counselor and with my acupuncturist, and also able to talk in a group setting with other TSW warriors. At the end of the day though, you do what works for you. These are just really simple suggestions that you can start implementing into your TSW journey if you haven't already. And the very last tip that I have for how to manage your TSW is probably one of the most important ones amongst the 9 other tips that I gave today. And that is mindset. So as you know, going through TSW is very mentally draining. Seeing other people's journey, how does someone else heal faster than you, or just simply comparing yourself to others can really make you feel like your journey is slower, or it might feel like you're not healing fast enough. So one of my tips today for mindset is to don't compare yourself to other people's journey. You don't really know what exactly someone else is going through. You don't know what they're doing to help with your journey. So it can actually be detrimental for your healing, trying to compare yourself to other people who are maybe healing faster than you or even healing slower than you. Whatever the case is, focus on yourself. Don't compare yourself to others and try to stay really positive during this journey. As hard as it sounds, but staying positive at the best of your ability can actually help with your recovery. You have to remember that this pain that you're going through right now is temporary. None of this is meant to be long term. So if you can get through this temporary pain, then you're gonna see a lot of healing and a lot of relief in the next coming months or the next coming years. Hopefully it's not going to take years for you, and I hope that some of these tips that I gave in today's video is going to speed up your healing or at least make your healing a lot more manageable. Now, at this point in the video, you learned the top 10 tips on how to manage your TSW. Of course, this list is not exhaustive, but I found that going through TSW myself, these were the top 10 things that helped me the most. If you are needing help with your skin and you want more support with managing your TSW, then book a free consultation call with me at the link in my description, and let's have a conversation to see if I can help you. As always, make sure you guys watch these videos right here if you want to learn more on how to manage your TSW, but also manage your eczema. Thanks everyone for watching today's video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.